Here's the question I get every single week from people all over the West Valley. Is it even worth buying a house right now? Rates seem all over the place, prices are high. Should I just keep renting? And honestly, that is a completely fair question. I get it. The market looks confusing right now. You're seeing headlines that say prices are dropping. Other headlines say now is a great time to buy. And meanwhile, you're still writing a rent check every month that's getting bigger, not smaller. So in this video, I'm going to give you the real answer, the actual numbers from our West Valley market right now, and I'm going to let you decide. I'm Renee the Realtor, your West Valley real estate specialist, and I get texts from folks just like yourself who are considering buying in the West Valley of Phoenix. If this is you, click the link in the description to get my complete West Valley home buying guide, where you get an in-depth breakdown of some of the most highly sought after neighborhoods in the West Valley of Phoenix. Now, by the end of this video, you are going to know what renters are paying right now in Goodyear, Surprise, Peoria, Glendale, Litchfield Park, and Verrado, what a mortgage on a comparable home actually costs, the real pros and cons of buying in 2026, and the very specific advantages that buyers have in this market that we have not seen in years. Stick with me, because what I'm going to show you later in this video is the number that surprises most every renter I talk to. Let's jump into it. Let's start with the rental market, because this is the foundation of this whole conversation. I want you to know what renters in our specific West Valley cities are paying right now. Not national averages, not Phoenix-wide stats, but right here where you live. According to current market data from Zumper and Zillow Rental Manager, here's what average monthly rent looks like across our area. Peoria is averaging about $2,100 a month. Goodyear, approximately $1,900. Surprise is averaging $1,995. Glendale, approximately $1,677. Litchfield Park and the Verrado area, that's averaging $1,850 to $2,200 or more. And the greater Phoenix average is approximately $1,776. Now, those are averages for apartments and rental homes across the board. If you're renting a 3-bedroom single-family home, which is what most of my clients are doing before they buy, you could easily be paying $2,200 to $2,500 a month or more, depending on the area and how recently your landlord updated your lease. And here's the thing about those numbers. They're going up. Phoenix rental rates have increased about 1% since the fourth quarter of 2025. That may not sound like much, but if your rent jumps $100 to $150 at renewal, and it has been for a lot of people, that's $1,200 to $1,800 more per year coming straight out of your pocket. And you already know where your rent money goes when you pay it month after month to your landlord's mortgage, not yours. That's the key thing I want you to sit with for a second as you watch this video. Okay, here is the information I promised you, the number that surprises people. Let's run an actual realistic comparison. The median home price in the greater Phoenix area right now is around $405,000 to $450,000. Here in the West Valley, places like Goodyear, Surprise, and Peoria, you can find solid 3-bedroom homes in the $375,000 to $430,000 range, which is one of the reasons people keep choosing to move here over the East Valley. Let's model out a real-world scenario. We'll use a $400,000 home purchase, completely realistic for our market. For a home purchase at $400K with a 3.5% down payment leaves you with a loan amount of $386K. Interest rates are hovering around the low 6% range, so we are going to be a little bit modest and calculate an estimated principal between 6 and 6.5%. When you factor in all that comes with a mortgage payment like taxes, home insurance, and PMI, you're looking at roughly $2,600 to $2,900 a month for a home you own versus $1,900 to $2,200 a month to rent. Now, on the surface, renting is cheaper. I get that. But here's where the story changes dramatically. first mortgage rates. A lot of buyers right now are getting rate buydowns from builders and sellers. We're talking rates as low as 3% for quick move-in homes from builders. I'll cover that more in a bit. But it is real and it is happening right now in our market. Second, let's talk about what you're actually getting for that payment. With the mortgage, a portion of your single payment goes toward your principal, meaning you're building equity, not handing money to a landlord. In year one, on a $400,000 home, you'd pay down roughly $7,000 to $9,000 in principal alone, depending on your rate. Paying a little extra on your mortgage also tackles your principal. Third, tax benefits. Homeowners can deduct mortgage interest and property taxes. You know, I'm not a CPA, but talk to one because this can make a real difference in your effective monthly cost. And fourth, and this is a big one, appreciation. Even at today's modest pace, Phoenix home values have been holding steady at around $450,000 median, with a floor that's been remarkably stable for the past 12 months. Historically, Phoenix has appreciated. Your rent, that money is gone every single month. Your home's equity, that stays and can grow. So yes, the mortgage payment is higher up front, but what you get in return is fundamentally different. Let me walk you through the reasons why buying right now actually makes a lot of sense for the right buyer. Pro number one, you lock in your payment. When you get a 30-year fixed mortgage, your principal and interest rate or interest payment never changes. Your landlord, they can, and they usually do, raise your rent every single year. In our West Valley market, rents have gone up roughly 1 to 5% in the past year across different cities. A fixed mortgage means predictability. That has real financial value. Pro number two, you build equity and wealth. According to the National Association of Realtors, the typical homeowner's net worth is about 40 times higher than that of a renter. That's not because homeowners are richer to begin with. It's because owning a home is one of the most reliable ways to accumulate wealth over time. Every payment you make builds your stake in that asset. Pro number three, Phoenix's long-term fundamentals are still strong. Our economy here in Maricopa County is diversifying. Healthcare, tech, semiconductor manufacturing, finance. Companies keep choosing the Phoenix Metro. People keep moving here. Demand for housing doesn't disappear in markets with strong job growth and population inflow. These are the underpinnings of long-term value. Pro number four, it's your home. You can paint the walls, you get a dog, build a backyard you've always wanted, have room for your kids to grow. There's a quality of life element to home ownership that no apartment, no matter how nice it is, can fully replicate. Pro number five, you stop being at your landlord's mercy. No more wondering if they'll sell the property. No more lease terms that don't work for your life. No more rent increases that push you out of the neighborhood you love. And pro number six, I'm going to talk more about this in a few. Buyers right now have more negotiating power than they've had in years. Now, I said I was going to give you the real picture, and I am. And so that means I have to be honest with you about the challenges. Con number one, mortgage rates are higher than what your parents paid. The average 30-year fixed rate right now is hovering in the low to mid 6% range. This is not the 3% world of 2020 and 2021. Those rates were the product of unprecedented federal stimulus, and they are not coming back anytime soon. This is the new normal. The 50-year historical average for mortgage rates is actually around 7.75%. So what we are seeing today is actually below average by historical standards. But it does mean your purchasing power is less than it was a few years ago. Con number two, the down payment and upfront costs are real. Even a 3.5% down FHA on an FHA loan for a $400,000 home is $14,000 out of pocket before you get to the closing table. A conventional 5% down payment is $20,000. This is a real barrier, and if you're not there yet financially, that's okay, but it's something to plan for. Con number 3, home ownership comes with maintenance costs. No more calling the landlord when the AC goes out. And in Phoenix, a broken AC is not optional. Budget for roughly 1% to 2% of your home's value per year for maintenance and repairs. On a $400,000 home, that's about $4,000 to $8,000 per year to set aside. Con number 4, prices aren't crashing. I know some people are waiting for a big dip, but the data just doesn't support that. The Phoenix median sale price has been essentially flat at around $450,000 for the past year. This isn't 2008. Lending standards are tight, homeowner equity is high, and there's no wave of foreclosures coming. A controlled correction is not a crash. Con number 5, flexibility. When you own a home, it's harder to just pick up and move. If your job situation is uncertain, or you might relocate in the next year or two, you need to factor that in. Generally, buying only makes sense if you plan to stay at least 3 to 5 years or longer. Those are real considerations. I want you to go into this with open eyes, but here's the thing. For the right buyer who's financially ready and plans to stay in the West Valley, the pros significantly outweigh the cons right now. And here's why. Here's something I want to make sure every person watching this video understands clearly. Buyers in our market right now have a level of negotiating power that we have not seen since before the pandemic. And if you wait too long, that window could close. Here's what that actually means on the ground. In the West Valley, homes are taking anywhere from 60 to 89 days to sell, depending on the city and the price point. In Goodyear, that number is around 84 days. Surprise is closer to 60. 2 years ago, good homes were gone in 48 hours. You could not even get a showing booked before they were under contract. So what does that mean for you as a buyer? It means you get to take your time. You can tour 10 to 12 homes before making a decision. You can include inspection contingencies, appraisal contingencies, things that buyers were literally waiving just a couple years ago just to compete. You have protection back. And then there's seller concessions. Right now, more than half of all closings in Greater Phoenix include some form of seller concession. That means the seller is giving you something: money towards closing costs, a warranty, a major credit repair, or mortgage rate buydown. I'm going to talk about those mortgage buydowns in a second because they are a game changer. Phoenix has more than 29,000 active listings right now. Inventory is up dramatically from where it was during the frenzy years. That gives you selection. That gives you leverage. You can find the right home in the right neighborhood and negotiate from a position of strength. Here's the critical point though. Buying activity tends to pick up in the second quarter of any year. When we see more buyers in the market, home prices tend to increase and options for buyers tend to weaken. The buyers who move before the spring rush are going to have more options and more leverage than those who wait until the market heats back up. And look, I'm not saying this to create urgency. I'm just saying it because the data actually says it. Real estate rewards time in the market, not timing the market. I want to talk specifically about one of the biggest opportunities in our market right now, new construction, because the deals being offered by builders in the West Valley are genuinely remarkable. Here's why this matters so much. The outskirts of the metro, and I'm talking like Goodyear, Surprise, Peoria, Buckeye, areas like Verrado have heavy new construction competition right now. Builders are sitting on inventory and they need to move it. And to do that, they're offering some of the most aggressive incentive packages I've seen. We're talking mortgage rate buydowns into the mid 3% to the low 4% range, closing cost credits of $10,000 to $25,000 or more, appliance packages included, backyard landscaping included, extended warranty coverage, design center upgrades at no cost. Now let me put that rate buy down into real dollars for you. If you're buying a $400,000 home and a builder buys your rate down from, let's say, 6.9% to 5.75% permanently, we're talking about saving you roughly $300 or more per month over the life of your loan. That's over $100,000 in savings. That's not a small thing. And you don't have to look at new construction to get concessions. On resale homes, I'm regularly seeing sellers contribute at closing costs or rate buydowns as well, especially on homes that have been sitting on the market 45 days or more. This is where having a good buyer's agent in your corner matters. Someone who knows the market, knows which sellers are motivated, and knows how to structure a deal that puts money back in your pocket. Let me boil it down to what I actually think. As someone who lives and works right here in the West Valley, if you're financially ready, meaning you have your down payment, your credit is in good shape, and you plan to be here for at least 3 to 5 years, then yes, I genuinely believe that this is a window of opportunity in our market. Not because I want to sell you a house, but because the numbers support it. You have inventory, you have time, you have negotiating power. Builders are offering deals that offset the pain of higher rates, and you have a chance to build equity and stability instead of funding someone else's investment. Now, if you're not ready, if the down payment isn't there yet, or if your employment situation is uncertain, or you need to move in 12 months, then I recommend waiting. Buying a home before you're ready is far worse than renting a little bit longer. Don't let anyone rush you into a big decision this big. And if you're somewhere in the middle, you're not sure, you have questions, you want someone to actually run the numbers without pressure, that's exactly what I'm here for. No obligation, no hype, just a real conversation about whether this makes sense for your life. I serve buyers all across the West Valley: Goodyear, Surprise, Litchfield Park, Peoria, Glendale, and Verrado. I know these communities, I know the builders, I know the neighborhoods, and I would love to help you figure out if now is your moment. If this video helped you even just a little bit, please hit that like button. It seriously helps other people in the West Valley find this information when they're asking the same questions you were asking. And subscribe if you want to stay up to date on the West Valley market. I also do property tours, so if you're in search of your luxury oasis in the West Valley of Phoenix, then you most definitely need to subscribe. You can tour homes wherever you are, any time of the day. And if you're ready to start a conversation about buying in the West Valley, there's a link in the description to book a consultation. Again, no commitment, no pressure, just a real conversation. I'm Renee the Realtor. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.